Hi folks! So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about thesis statements and kind of organizing ideas for the issue analysis as you get into adding to, expanding, and revising your drafts. This will be kind of where you need to be going, right? So we'll talk about thesis statements first, and I'm going to hit y'all with a bunch of definitions, vocab real quick, but I'm going to put all of my notes from this video in the description for the video, so don't feel like you need to try to take notes on what I'm saying right now. The notes are already in the description for you. So, a thesis. We kind of know what a thesis is, right? But I find the definitions are helpful. So, a thesis statement is one or two sentences that articulate the main idea or ideas of your paper, making a claim and directly answering the question, what is this paper about and why does it matter? Which is related to your research question. Research question is sort of something that you've already been working with as you do your research, as the name suggests. At the beginning of the research process, you start out with a question or a series of questions about the topic that you're working on. Broadly, in the most general terms, for the issue analysis, those questions are going to be what is the issue? What are the sides? Who are the stakeholders who has a stake in those sides? And what evidence are they using to state their position? And then why does this matter? So, a claim, which is another one of those words from the thesis definition, is an arguable statement, which is supported with evidence throughout the paper. So a claim is something that can be argued. The sky is blue, not a claim because nobody's really going to argue with it. Cats are better than dogs is a claim, right? So that's the difference. And then analysis. So analysis is the process of breaking something down into its various elements, carefully examining and evaluating those elements, and reaching conclusions about what you've evaluated on your own. Contrast this with summary, which is simply repeating and rephrasing what other sources have said without adding in new thoughts, ideas, or conclusions on your own. So we are looking for analysis in this issue analysis, not just summary of what the sources are saying. So, as I've tried to emphasize, the goal of the issue analysis paper isn't to make an argument in favor of one side or the other of your issue. Rather, you should evaluate the sources and articulate those different perspectives that the sources are expressing. And analyze them, right? Analyzing the issue. So therefore, for your issue analysis, you need a thesis statement. And the claim in your thesis statement should be an analytical one. Generally, your thesis statement should answer these questions. What are the perspectives on the issue, and why does considering the evidence of these different perspectives matter? You can even think of it as in this paper, I am going to talk about this issue, and these are the perspectives, this is the type of evidence, and this is why it matters. That's why I say kind of one or two sentences, because you can, trying to fit all that into one sentence, it can sometimes get unwieldy. So 2-sentence thesis statements, totally fine for me. Double check with your other professors in future classes, but for me, totally fine. Cool. So, in general, as you think about organizing and structuring your papers, think of it as following this general pattern of, in the introduction, you're going to tell your reader what you're about to tell them. In the body of the paper, tell them. And in the conclusion, tell them what you just told them. There are, places in writing for, mystery and surprise and, big reveals at the end, but this issue analysis paper is not that. Most of your academic papers that you write in college are not going to be that. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. So, in your intro, where you tell them what you're going to tell them, For the issue analysis, think like 4 to 6 sentences for the intro, probably. Just going to be usually a paragraph. You're going to give some necessary background if you need like background to understand the issue, or broadly introduce the topic that you're talking about. You want your thesis with its analytical claim. That's usually going to be the last sentence or two of your introduction. That's where I'm going to be looking for it. So, like, this is the issue, these are the sides of the issue, which will be explained in depth in your body paragraphs, and why should we care? Why does the issue matter? So you're not making an argument for one side or the other, you're just analyzing the issue. And your thesis statement ideally should reflect the structure of the larger paper. So when we talk about how you're going to organize your body paragraphs, don't, try to like introduce ideas and perspectives, whatever, in your thesis in the same order as you do in the body paragraphs. Kind of help your reader follow along and help you keep track of where you are when you're writing. So the body of the paper. For a paper that is 1,500 words in length, you're probably going to want at least 5 body paragraphs. This can vary. You could have 4 long paragraphs. Could have more than 5 paragraphs, 6 or 7 paragraphs. It just depends on how you break down your ideas. But a general rule is that you don't really want a paragraph that goes on for more than a whole page. So what you don't want is a whole page of just text with no paragraph break. That's kind of a sign that you need to put a break in there somewhere. And with the length of the paper, that kind of works out to you having about 5 body paragraphs, at least. So, each paragraph should begin with like a transitional word or phrase, and then a topic sentence, which is like a mini thesis statement for your paragraph. What exactly are you going to be talking about in this paragraph, and how does it tie back to the analytical claim that you're making in your thesis statement? Sometimes topic sentences can also be at the end of the body paragraph, but like the general structure is going to have it be at the beginning, like a thesis statement for your little paragraph. I do want to note, it is unnecessary to introduce the topic of the next paragraph at the end of the previous one. Instead, just use your transition statements. It can read as really repetitive if you're like, this, you're talking about one thing through a whole paragraph and then you have a sentence at the end where you shift to the next paragraph, like, it gets confusing. So just talk about what you want to talk about in that paragraph, and then move on. So like, organizing the body can happen a few different ways, and it'll kind of depend on like how your issue is broken down or how the research shakes out for you. And also there's like a degree of preference, like you can just kind of do what you want. You can give each perspective a paragraph, or a couple paragraphs, generally discussed in the order that you list them in your thesis, like I said. You can sort by like the quality of the research or the sources that you have been able to find. So if you have like one perspective that has a ton of like blog posts and like YouTube videos as like the main source of their evidence, and you have another perspective that like is coming at you with scientific articles, you could maybe organize it that way. You could break things down chronologically. Chronologically by source, or just talk about a source per paragraph, or break it down geographically. If your issue is something that's kind of widespread, talk about the like age at which you can acquire tobacco in the U.S. and then in Canada or whatever. But remember to kind of keep your topic focused So I'm not super picky about how the body is organized, just like that it is organized. Some kind of clear logical structure. And then in each discussion of a paragraph or a discussion of a perspective, you should include what the perspective or side is, analyze and evaluate the sources that present that topic, so who are the stakeholders and what is their stake, as well as trends, all that kind of interesting stuff. Like, don't just tell me what each source says or what each position is. Give me some analysis, evaluation. Yeah, tell me something more than just like what the sources are saying. And then, after you've got that, you've got your conclusion. So it's going to be a really quick paragraph. You probably only need like 3-ish sentences. Wrap it up. Really emphasize like that why this matters, why this is important. If you have like a call to action for your reader, you can put it there. And then generally just like restate your thesis in like at least slightly different words. So, I hope that was helpful. Like I said, I am going to post these notes. I also have a couple resources that I will post with them. Purdue OWL has a good guide on thesis statements. There's a bit on from Ashford University about summary versus analysis that might be helpful. Just remember we are looking for analysis in this paper. So yeah, I hope you all are well and ready for this spooky season. Alright, have a good one.